Boker Tov and good morning to everyone on this wonderful, beautiful San Diego day as we celebrate and coming together in the Shachrit in this morning's service. We celebrate those who are physically here with us. We celebrate those who are joining us, Bruchim Habayim, Lekulam, those who are joining us from Israel, those who are joining us in celebration of this incredible young woman, Omer, as on this day she will become Bat Mitzvah. She has worked so incredibly hard to reach this moment. We'll delight in her inspiring us with her own words and interpretations behind Torah. We will also experience her lead us as part of our Shlichut Tzibor, as part of our service leadership today, and how we can meet her in her sacred space is by joining her in song, in music, to have the words, to have the prayer book words, lift them off the pages so that we can live them through our voices and through our hearts. Behind everything that Omer has done to prepare for this moment is a sense of beauty and a sense of wonder and purpose. There is so much challenge in our world right now with Israel and what this means. This is a shining star moment in that we can celebrate the individual, we can celebrate the beauty, the connections, the wonder, and this is what today is about as well. And so it is, we sing together. On page 30, we begin our service this morning. Ma tovu ohalach Yaakov, how lovely are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel. We join together.
Ma tovu ohalech Yaakov,
when we reach this moment of blessing, of enveloping ourselves, we do so with the Tallit. And the Tallit has much more representation just than the ritual on it, just than the fabric. But in truth, in our tradition, we've come to learn that the more worn it is, the more in fashion it is. and it's about the understanding of what it represents. And for that, I would like to call upon Marcia, Jessica, and Rabbi Cantor Bernstein to present Omer with her Tallit.
Omer. Chana Senesh wrote, "In my life's chain of events, nothing was accidental. Everything happened according to an inner need. What a year, what a journey. Who knew that when a year ago when I talked to you about being the Shinshnit here at Beth Israel, you'd be on such a wild ride? But you knew that you needed to be here with us. It was not accidental. COVID had just begun, and we really didn't know what the school year would look like. You came to San Diego with your glowing smile and boundless energy, and inasmuch as we hope that you feel that we embraced you, you truly embraced our community. The preschool, the religious school, and now the congregation as a whole by becoming a bat mitzvah here at Beth Israel. This Tallit is from Rabbi Cantor Bernstein, Jessica, and myself. We hope that whenever you wrap yourself in it, you will feel the warmth of the Beth Israel community and know that you are truly loved by all of us. Lots of love. I give her a hug. I can give her a hug. That's going to be a whole for the trouble.
ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו, וציוונו להתאפק בציצית.
We begin page 34.
אלוהי נשמה שנתת בי טהורה היא. אלוהי נשמה שנתת בי טהורה היא. אלוהי נשמה שנתת בי טהורה
We begin with morning blessings, Nisim B'chol Yom, on page 36.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לשפי בינה להבחין בין יום ובין לילה.
אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם פוקח עברים.
אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם מתיר אסורים.
אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם זוקף כפופים.
אמן. אמן, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, רוקה הארץ על המים.
אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, המכין מצעדי גבר.
אמן, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, מלביש ערומים.
אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, הנותן לעייף כוח.
אמן, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, המעביר שינה מעיני ותנומה מעפעפי.
אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שעשני בצלם אלוהים.
אמן, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שעשני בת חורים.
אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שעשני ישראל.
אמן, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, עוזר ישראל בגבורה.
אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, עוטר ישראל בתפארה.
אמן,
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו, וציוונו לעסוק בדברי תורה.
We continue on page 44. אלו דברים שאין להם שיעור, שאדם אוכל פירותיהם בעולם הזה, והקרן קיימת לו לעולם הבא. ואילו הן, כיבוד אב ואם וגמילות חסדים, והשכמת בית המדרש, שחרית וערבית, והכנסת אורחים וביקור חולים, והכנסת כלה ולוויית המת, ועיון תפילה, והבאת שלום בין אדם לחברו, ותלמוד תורה כנגד כולם. These are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of this world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study, morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all. We continue with Psalm 150 on page 55.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
we rise in body, mind, and spirit for the Baruch Hu on page 58. We continue on page 60. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, יוצר אור ובורא חושך, עושה שלום ובורא את הכל, המאיר לארץ ולדרים עליה ברחמים, ובטובו מחדש בכל יום תמיד מעשה בראשית. מה רבו מעשיך, אדוני, כולם בחוכמה עשית, מלאה הארץ קנייניך. תתברך, אדוני אלוהינו, על שבח מעשה ידיך, ועל מאורי אור שעשית, יפארוך סלע. אור חדש על ציון תאיר, ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאורו. ברוך אתה, אדוני, יוצר המאורות. Page 61. אהבה רבה אהבתנו, אדוני אלוהינו. חמלה גדולה ויתרה חמלת עלינו. בעבור אבותינו ואמותינו שבטחו בך, ותלמדם חוקי חיים. כן תחננו ותלמדנו, אמרכם רחם עלינו, ותן בליבנו להבין ולהשכיל, לשמוע, ללמוד וללמד. לשמור ולעשות ולקיים את כל דברי תלמוד תורתך באהבה.
שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד.
Please be seated. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך ובביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. We continue on page 71. Will you please join me at the bottom of the page? We are Israel, witness of God's covenant. We are Israel, forbidden to worship power. We are Israel, prophets of a vision for all. We are Israel, schooled in the suffering of the oppressed. We are Israel, trying to beat swords into plowshares. We are Israel, teaching sacred words into Torah. Hate evil and love what is good. Let justice flow as a mighty stream. We are Israel, proclaiming your truth as we did on the shores of the sea.
Beth Israel, ufedechinu mecha Yehuda veYisrael, go aleinu Adonai tzevahot shemo, Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael. Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Koneh HaKol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevii Geula Livnei Bneihem, Le'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Be'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye al kol Atah, Rav leHoshia, Morid Atah. Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye Atu Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Bagevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, B'ne'emanat al hachayot hakol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה בימן. קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו לאומתם ברוך יאמרו, ברוך כבוד אדוני במקומו. ודברי קודשך כתוב לאמור, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Please be seated.
שאלו שלום ירושלים, ישלב אוהביך. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. אבינו שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו, ברך את מדינת ישראל, ראשית צמיחת גאולתנו. הגן עליה בעברת חסדך, ופרוס עליה סוכת שלומך, ושלח אורך ועמיתך לראשיה. שריה ויועציה, ותקנם בעצה טובה מלפניך. ונתת שלום בארץ, ושמחת עולם ליושביה, ונאמר אמן.
Amen.
O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen.
שימו שלום, טובה וברכה, חן וחסד ורחמים ורחמים עלינו, ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל ישראל עמך, ברכנו יוצרנו, לנו כאחד, באור פניך. כי באור פניך נתת לנו, אדוני אלוהינו. שים שלום, טובה וברכה, חן וחסד ורחמים ורחמים עלינו, ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל ישראל עמך.
We invite you to take a few moments for your own silent prayer, using the words in our Siddur as a guide or the meditations of your heart.
In just a moment, we are going to begin Seder Kriyat Torah, the order for the reading of Torah. And this ritual symbolically takes a paradigmatic moment in our people's history and makes it real and makes it personal and makes it now. We read in the Torah that Moses went up the mountain, went up Mount Sinai to get the 10 Commandments. But our tradition says that Moses did not just receive the 10 Commandments, the 2 tablets on the mountain, but indeed Moses received the entirety of Torah, from the written scroll to what would later become the Tanakh, all the way through the oral commentaries, the oral tradition, everything from how Rashi interprets the first words of Torah all the way to how we light our Shabbat candles. This morning, as we symbolically place the Torah in Omer's arms, we continue that chain of transmission that started on Mount Sinai with Moses through the generations, through all of the generations of Jews who lived in diaspora communities, through the Chalutzim to this moment. This is surely the day that God has made. Let us rejoice. Let us be glad in it. Let us rise together for Seder Kriyat Torah. Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, udevar Adonai mirushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadol Adonai Iti, Uneromema Shemo Yachdav, Lecha Adonai HaGedula VeHaGevura VeHaTiferet VeHaNetzach VeHaHod, Ki Chol Bashamayim Uvaretz, Ki Chol Bashamayim Uvaretz, Lecha Adonai HaMamlacha VeHamin Na'aseh Lechol Lerosh. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'yishtachavu le'akodesho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'yishtachavu le'akodesho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu.
You may be seated. As Rabbi Gimel mentioned, that this is the Seder Kriyat Torah. This is the Torah reading in which we have the opportunity, the blessing, and the sacred responsibility of passing Torah l'dor v'dor. And so today we pass it into your arms as well, Omer. And Omer has worked very hard to reach this moment. We're reading from Parashat Be'acha Lotecha, which is in the book of Numbers. And we're reading in this portion. Omer again will give us her own insights in a few moments. But this is a Torah portion which I find so apropos for this moment, where God speaks to Moses describing the menorah, for the tent of meeting, this light that is always supposed to be lit when we're in this Mishkan, the tabernacle. And the Levites are appointed to serve as assistants of sorts under Aaron and his sons. And then we learn about different ways that we are relating to God. One in which God is presenting as a cloud by day and a pillar of fire at night to encapsulate and take care of the Israelites. And perhaps the most stark of which Omer, I know, is focused on today is Miriam and Aaron, Moses' siblings, and their understanding of the Cushite woman who he is to marry. And they're speaking about her. So this portion is filled with so many twists and turns. And it almost reads like a soap opera in some ways. But the idea is that we are learning that the Israelites are starting to establish themselves as a community. They're starting to create a foundational model of how they live and how they operate. And so for us, and we'll share more about Omer after she reads and we understand her own insights a little later. But Omer, to us, you are like a cloud by day and a pillar of fire at night that comes and surrounds us in safety and in comfort in many ways, from our youngest to our oldest, all of us in between. And so it's so apropos that we speak of bringing light into the Mishkan and how you've done that. And so we'll delight in reading our Torah. The exact readings for our Torah are from Numbers chapter 12, beginning with verse 1. I'm delighted to call upon for our first Aliyah, Katie Lindley and Jessica Kretzer.
Ta'amdu, Rachel bat Fegel Lev, v'Meril, Yael bat Ruth Harishon.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. ותדבר מרים ואהרון במשה על אודות האישה הכושית אשר לקח, כי אישה חושית לקח. ויאמרו הרק אך במשה דיבר אדוני, הלא גם בנו דיבר, וישמע אדוני. והאיש משה עניו מאוד מכל האדם אשר על פני האדמה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו את האמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
Amen.
For the blessing and reading of our next Aliyah, I delight in calling upon our Bat Mitzvah, Omer Najari.
Ta'amod, 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 Omer bat Hadas v'Yuval, Bachurachat bat Mitzvah.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach leolam va'ed.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים, ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
ויאמר אדוני אל משה, ואביה ירוק ירק, בפניה הלא תקלהם 7 ימים תיסגר 7 ימים מחוץ למחנה ואחר תאסף ותיסגר מרים מחוץ למחנה 7 ימים והעם לא נסע עד יאסף מרים ואחר נסעו העם לחצרות ויחנו במדבר פרן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
Whenever we reach a new moment of joy and blessing, we join in words of Shechianu. So I invite all of us to join together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
And at this time, I'd like to call upon Hillary and Francis Altis to open the Ark doors and help dress our Torah as we continue singing together is Chaim Ki. I invite all of you to please rise if you're able.
וזאת התורה ששם משה לפני בני ישראל. אני אדוני ביד משה. יאללה לילה לילה יאללה לילה לילה יאללה לילה לילה יאללה לילה
Please be seated.
Boker tov, everybody. Okay, in this week's parasha, we learned that Miriam and Aaron, the siblings of Moses, said bad things about Tzipporah, Moses' wife, because she was from a different people. And right after, Miriam got sick, she was sent away from the camp, Moses prayed for her health, and after she was better, Miriam came back to the camp and they moved on. בפרשה של השבוע, מרים ואהרון, האחים של משה, דיברו בצורה לא מכבדת על ציפורה, אשתו של משה, בגלל שהיא הייתה כושית, כלומר, מעם אחר. מיד אחרי זה, מרים חלתה, הוציאו אותה מהמחנה לסוג של בידוד, והחזירו אותה בחזרה אחרי שהיא הייתה בריאה, והעם המשיך בדרכו. When I first read this, it seemed to me that what happened to Miriam was some sort of a statement from God about how she was behaving. She was using lashon hara, or bad speech, or gossip. She was speaking about someone else in a very disrespectful way just because they were different than her. This hits a nerve for me, and I'll explain in a second why. So when I was reading this with Rabbi Navarez, I was like, ooh, Miriam had it coming. And I think that this was God's way to say, this is not my way. By saying those things and treating others so badly, you are not speaking on behalf of me, and those are not my words. בזמן שקראתי את הפרשה, מה שקפץ לי לראש זה שזה הגיע לה. כי מרים התייחסה בצורה מאוד לא מכבדת אל ציפורה, רק בגלל שהייתה שונה ממנה. ואני חושבת שמתוך הסיפור, לי זה נתפס בראש כאילו אלוהים ממש אמר לה, זאת לא דרכי. את לא מדברת בשמי. ההתנהגות שלך לא מייצגת את הרצונות שלי. So I was given the choice to read this one instead of a different section, and I'm so happy that I did because this is so meaningful to me, and now I'm going to explain why. Okay, first of all, hi. I want to thank all of you so much for coming here today. It means the world. And to those on Zoom as well, and to those in Israel, תודה רבה רבה שבאתם לפה היום. אני יודעת שזה אולי קצת מוזר לראות את זה ככה, אבל אני כל כך מודה לכם שעשיתם את המאמץ והצטרפתם אליי. You know what? It's crazy for me to think that I'm standing in a room full of people that just a few months ago were complete strangers to me. Before I got here, most of my interaction with the religion was with people who disrespected me and others in the name of the religion. Doing many different things, you know, calling names, throwing stones, spitting, and more awful things. Because I and others didn't fit their idea of a proper religious Jew. And that was mostly what I knew religion was. And it just never aligned with my deepest values and beliefs that every person deserves to be treated with kavod, respect. And don't get me wrong, everything cultural about the religion I always loved and practiced. I live in a kibbutz, so the holidays, for example, are huge. But anything religious, because of what I knew about it, I always wanted to push away. I felt that the religion rejected me, and every time it appeared in my life, I felt that I needed to fight it. And so when I heard that I'm going to be volunteering at a synagogue, I thought to myself, oi.
Well, maybe if we just don't talk about religion. But then I got here, and I found amazing people in an amazing synagogue, an amazing community. I found out that here, kids are being taught about tikkun olam, repairing the world, and respecting others. כשרק הגעתי לפה, באתי עם החוויות הלא נעימות שחוויתי בארץ עם הדת. אנשים שבשם הדת עשו דברים נוראים, אני לא צריכה להסביר לכם, אני בטוחה שאתם מבינים, אבל מצאתי פה קהילה של אנשים כל כך מדהימים שמלמדים לכבד את האחר ואת האמונות שלו בתיקון עולם. You guys practice and teach human values in the name of the religion. Every single one of you. I met Katie, that her whole being is carrying community, and I just saw how supportive and really caring this community is, that it really is about repairing the world. והיא הייתה פה בשבילי כמו אימא, מהרגע הראשון, לתמוך בי בהכל. I met Irina, the teacher of the preschool. I learned many times about Judaism from her together with the kids. And she's not Jewish, and accepted, embraced, and loved exactly the way she is. And no one wants her to change. פגשתי את אירינה, שהיא לא יהודייה, והיא אהובה וכל כך מקובלת בדיוק כמו שהיא. I met Jessica, started joining her 9th grade class as a student, and learned so much about the religion and beautiful things in it. I practiced things in it. Fun fact, Jessica challenged me to dress modestly for a week. Yes, with the long skirt and sleeves. And I even got up on a plane wearing that. So after a few classes, from a position where I was constantly pushing the religion away, I suddenly felt that something inside of me let go. פגשתי את ג'סיקה, הצטרפתי לכיתה שלה, ולמדתי כל כך הרבה דברים שלא ידעתי. דברים מדהימים שממש אהבתי. ובגלל שאני כל כך סומכת עליה, למרות שבגלל מה שחוויתי בארץ, באתי לפה עם הצורך לדחות ולדחוף את הדת, אחרי כמה שיעורים איתה, פתאום משהו בי השתחרר, ורציתי להיות חלק מהדבר המופלא הזה. And for the first time in my life, I felt that the religion just accepted me with love as I am. It invited me in, and I was willing to embrace it with open arms. And you know what? Each and every one of you in this incredible community makes that difference. Now, I feel that the religion belongs to me just as much as it belongs to anyone else. And this is why I decided to have a bat mitzvah. So, thank you so, so much for everything. ועוד פעם, תודה רבה שבאתם לחגוג איתי. And thank you again for coming to celebrate with me.
סימן טוב, מזל טוב, מזל טוב, סימן טוב, סימן טוב, מזל טוב, מזל טוב, סימן טוב, סימן טוב, מזל טוב, מזל טוב, סימן טוב, יהיה לנו. סימן טוב, מזל טוב, מזל טוב, סימן טוב, סימן טוב, מזל טוב, מזל טוב, סימן טוב, סימן טוב, מזל טוב, מזל טוב, סימן טוב, יהיה לנו. יהיה לנו, ולכל ישראל. יהיה לנו, ולכל ישראל. יהיה לנו, ולכל ישראל. יהיה לנו, Israel. Siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, Yelanu.
Omer, this is the first time and the closest we have ever come to a bard's bat mitzvah. The gift of vaccination. It is a gift. It is a gift of being able to be face-to-face without a mask with you today. So you come to the United States and you become bat mitzvah. You come from Israel, 6,500, here we're 9,500 miles away. I had to adjust my New York thinking. So 9,500 miles away, and you come here to learn about your Judaism. You come here to find community. That in it itself is a nes gadol. And just want to share a few things about what I've come to experience and my family has come to experience from you, and what it has been, I think, for our community in this year. So one of the things that really, when we started meeting, you said to me, which you mentioned, which also pulled at my heart, was that you said that you had to fight against religion. And that was so painful for me to hear, because this is what we do. We try to make our Judaism acceptable and accepted to all those who want to be part of it. And here you were living in Israel as an Israeli, growing up and feeling that your Judaism wasn't yours to have. And that is so painful to hear. What was the other side of that was to watch you this year, especially since the winter on, when we were getting to see each other, to see you, your smile, your smile, your smile. It's contagious and infectious. To see your joy in every interaction with our children, with our teachers, with our educators, with all of those people, the joy, the sheer joy, the love. I watch my daughter light up in your presence and see how she is animated through all that you give to her and that you've given just a sampling of what you give to everybody else. Your host family, I'm sure, has so much to share about their gifts, and thank you for your gifts as well, for hosting you and for what you have brought to their lives. And what you've brought to us is lev, is heart. What you've brought to us is koach, is real, the sense of power and might. And you've brought simcha. You've brought this joy. And what you've done today is no easy thing. Students here take years to get ready and prepare to get to this moment. You took about 2 months. Wasn't so bad. You had a little bit of Hebrew on your side, so it was okay. But what you also had was humility. You had resilience. And you had the drive to do this. You wanted to do this, and you wanted it to make it special. And so we are the beneficiaries of experiencing that for us. And we say thank you. Todalach mamash. One of the things that I've also thought about is your name, Omer. You know, Omer means sheath in English. And sheath, it's like, what is that? It's really, well, it's barley, it's wheat, right? And the Omer is only concluded when you can bundle it up, right? And I thought about your bundle and that you've given us so much, and that we have benefited from the sustenance that you have given. And your gifts of heart, your gifts of joy, of teaching, of learning, that's part of the Omer that you give to us, and that we can also offer you. This doesn't end now. It doesn't end when you go to Mountain Chai in June. It doesn't end when you go back to Haaretz, to Israel. It doesn't end then. The relationship just begins. Like when you become bat mitzvah, you don't have a bat mitzvah and you leave. You become bat mitzvah and you are. So what you're going to do in the world, we're going to be very excited to see and to learn. Because you're going to do your service work in Israel when you go back. You're going to then go maybe travel and go to school. And then we're going to watch you bloom and blossom into this amazing person you already are. So from our hearts, from our community, we say, Toda lach. In mazel, with love, with luck, with wholeness, with shlemut, with the gift of what you've given us. Today, this is our time to share with you and to celebrate all that you have made this moment to be. So, yesher koach. This is really a blessing for us, and I'm going to ask my colleagues to join as we offer you a very special bracha, a blessing that has been passed through the generations.
Omer, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and protect you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God's face continue to shine upon you with radiance and grace.
Yisar Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's presence always be with you, Omer. May you be granted health and long life, the courage to fill your life with joy, with blessing, and with peace. We all say, Amen.
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 Amen. So I hear some people want to throw some things. Okay, so I think we have to do Siman Tov. That was your cue, Siman Tov and Mazel Tov, but it didn't take. So we're going to do it one more time so it can take again, okay? Let's do one more Siman Tov and Mazel Tov.
Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehelanu. Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehelanu.
Once Katie has thrown the last candy, we'll begin to conclude our service by turning to Aleinu L'Shabeach, page 282. We invite you to please rise as you're able.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We turn to page 334 for Kaddish Yatom, if you are saying Kaddish, if you have a yahrzeit, and we think of those in our own families who we are missing and those in Omer's families who gave life. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah,
Amen.
v'alma divrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon u'myomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Israel, ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lamei amaya. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. זיכרונם לברכה. May their memories always be for a blessing. Please join us in our final closing song, Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom bimromav, Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru amen.
Mazel tov!
Mazel tov!
And we have a very special outside. Mindy, right? We're heading outside? Mindy, we're heading outside? Okay, we're going outside and a special treat for everyone. We invite you to just be around for a couple minutes, say Mazel tov to Omer, and join us outside.